welcome to Cover Story. It's been a very tumultuous year. We've seen a change of government, and we also have someone over here to help us walk through the events of the year, someone who's had a ringside view and also who has a very controversial sometimes but an insightful viewpoint on the things that have happened. I'm talking about BJP leader Subramanian Swamy. Dr. Swamy, welcome to Cover Story. Dr. Swamy, we've seen BJP would say a lot of Achhe Din. Has it been 365 days of Achhe Din, or have there been some black days also?
Well, I wouldn't say they're bad days or black days. There are some things which have happened which are extraordinary. Take, for instance, this whole transformation in Kashmir that we are witnessing today, where it may happen that out of 87 seats, the BJP might get between 30 and 35, and no one being able to form a government without the BJP. That's a huge transformation.
So tough PM at the helm.
Yeah, I think that is new. The overseas Indians are, for the first time, feeling that they can identify with somebody, the Prime Minister.
Overseas Indians are happy, but what about the Indians at home? We don't see much of our Prime Minister.
No, that is not so. See, look at Maharashtra, you've got a government. For the first time in our history, we've got a BJP government. I think we will get a BJP government in Jharkhand too, absolute majority.
Well, so depending more on Achhe Sitare than Achhe Din, I think.
Well, I mean, Achhe Din is a prediction, so it must be based on Sitare, you see. But
walk me through the beginning of the year, you know, the Congress campaign. Where did you, is there a defining moment where you could say Rahul has lost it, or, you know, in the beginning there was some goodwill that he's taking charge, you know?
I don't think there was ever goodwill for him. This
Not from you, but the general public.
No, but see, today 70% of the population is below 35. And they have no great love for this Nehru family and their great sacrifice and so on and so forth.
Just finished a decade of government, some emotion.
No. The decade of government left us staggering at the extent of corruption. And almost every sector felt it. The defense, for example, today we are not making it public. For some silly reason that people say, no, why should we publicize our weakness? But these 10 years, we have wrecked the defense. There are many changes which have taken place. Now, 2-3 things have not taken place, which is disappointing people, and because of the expectation, it is being magnified. One is the fact that we haven't been able to bring back black money.
That's a huge issue that you have picked up.
Yes, and I have, in fact, took a very strong stand when Mr. Jaitley said that we are bound by some treaty. You're bound by a treaty if it's only a question of tax evasion. Two governments can exchange information, but there are rules under which they can do, and that is what is called DTAA. But there are two other methods which are being used, which DTAA doesn't apply. One of them is the method of bribery. And that is, the Germans bribed the Liechtenstein senior officials and got the entire CD. And the Germans and the French bribed a senior official of Hong Kong Shanghai Bank and got 800 names or so of Indians. I mean, they got many more names, but they're of different countries. Then, of course, I took a very strong stand because I was in the Supreme Court when these things were being ordered, and finally Modi intervened and said, no, give all the names. So the names are all gone, and some prosecutions will start. But the American way is perhaps the best way, which is what I would call the fourth way. But there is a third way. First way, second way I've told you. Third way is to issue an ordinance stating that according to the United Nations Resolution on Corruption of 2005, we hereby declare that the following 70 countries where there is secret banking, any Indian account of an Indian citizen, is hereby that according to the United Nations Resolution on Corruption of 2005, we hereby declare that the following 70 countries where there is secret banking, any Indian account of an Indian citizen, is hereby nationalized. And under that convention, you have to hand over the money. Unless the person whose account is being nationalized proves that he legally opened it and the money in it is legal. Then you return it. Then you denationalize. So that's the third way, which is, I have verified this with people like Fali Nariman who say that that's the best way to do it. But the fourth way is the American way, which is they asked Credit Suisse branch in Washington and Union Bank of Switzerland branch in Washington that give us all the accounts of all American citizens, which are in any branch of yours anywhere in the world.
Doesn't that violate a confidentiality code?
Yes, that's what the officials said. And the Americans retaliated by arresting them under espionage charges. 3 days later, 5,335 names were handed over.
So you gave Modi all the options?
Yes. We have Credit Suisse and Union Bank of Switzerland branches in Bombay. We can do the same thing.
What is the response?
No, there's been no response from him. Fair enough, because anything he says will be a commitment.
You're saying names are coming out soon. Any idea?
Names will have to come out, because that's such a commitment that I would say that people will become very upset if not.
Are they all Congress names or some NDA, BJP names also?
I wouldn't say at this stage. I'm not able to say.
I
would be surprised that if opposition, the then opposition when Congress is in power, didn't have some names, because the extent of soft peddling that we see in the opposition. So that we'll see. It's not important.
Very little surprises you. I think we can expect some names. That means from the BJP side.
This is one disappointment. Now, as I said, that Hindutva, anti-corruption, Modi's personality, three things amalgamated to give you an absolute majority.
Okay.
Now, there is also a section which is disappointed. You haven't done anything about Ram Temple. You haven't done anything about Article 370. You haven't done anything about banning cow slaughter in an effective way. So,
has there been a U-turn on Hindutva? That's what.
No, there hasn't been a U-turn.
It's been a go slow.
Not at all. It is a go slow, yes. And Modi has an argument. I will not say he doesn't have an argument. He says, I can't do this in the first year. In my opinion, by 1916, he'll have to start doing it.
2016.
Yes, otherwise there will be problems.
But so that means there is just on the back burner. So all this talk of, Modi has reinvented himself, this development mantra is...
It's quite touching to see our liberals cooing about it and wanting selfies taken with him. Who till the other day was saying he was an ogre. But Modi's mind is clear. He knows that he is new to Delhi. He wants to establish his feet strongly. And then you will see that there's no such thing as a favorite for him. Whoever can deliver goods will be the people who will count with him.
So this team that we're seeing now is not the final Modi team.
I would be surprised. I would be surprised. I mean, I don't know.
Just auditioning
I'm not privy to any inside information, but I would be surprised if Modi continued with this team. I mean, there will be some will continue, but doesn't mean that he might not have a massacre.
But he's already begun the massacre. He didn't hold back. You have this first 75 plus brigade.
There's no such thing as plus 75 brigade. This is all your... somebody has been briefing you. I know who it has been.
Well, is it because you have a 75th birthday coming up?
It doesn't matter. If they tell me, I know what to do. But no one has told me. I mean, I should have been told, no? That you are 75 or you're becoming 75 and therefore...
so there's no 75 plus rule?
No, there's no system.
Najma Heptullah can have a party without any problems.
Even you, when you're 75, can. I mean, this is not a... This is an idiotic rule. In fact, the people who have failed in this country are not the plus 75. The people who have failed are these young people. All of them are failures. Rahul Gandhi, Pilot, even Rajiv Gandhi had told me that I made a mistake in becoming Prime Minister at 40. You see, personally. Because he said, you need a lot of experience to run this country.
Then why blame poor Rahul for not wanting to be Prime Minister?
I think he's mentally deficient. That's what I blame him for.
No, but give us some...
No. What is it? Has he passed any exam in his life? Has he ever...
No, I know there's a whole debate about his...
What? No, that's all bogus, all these degrees.
But look at him as a practical politician.
No, there's nothing practical about him. He's most of the time in London in parties, and then he flies in. There he has certain other addictions which I cannot, I don't want to say, but everybody knows what they are.
But can there be a Gandhi Mukt Congress? You're talking about a Congress. I
think that's the only way Congress can survive.
But they are holding on to the Gandhis as their last straw.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. If Gandhis cannot, if there are more strings of victories for Modi, you will find that these congressmen are quite ruthless.
Will they have the guts? Can you pinpoint a congressman who would?
The kinds of people you meet in the social circles, they are gutless.
कौन सा grassroots congressman है जो आके?
I can't name them because I'll compromise them.
But so far at least the people that we know of, the so-called leaders, there's no one. I mean, there was Sharad Pawar who's now out. And
listen, leaders. What was Modi 15 years ago? Hardly anybody had heard of him. Today, there's dispute whether he should be on the Times Man of the Year or not. So, I mean, people are talking about him. The world leaders all are praising him.
No, he's definitely
so then, it's all
kept the imagination. But who's this secret
weapon
of the
15 years? Congress cannot revive by the next election, I can tell you. The only people today, in today's mood, can challenge the BJP are somebody, if the BJP becomes very soft on Hindutva and a hardline Hindutva party emerges.
But that could be within the Hindutva ranks.
It could be from within the Hindutva ranks. It could be anything. Politics is full of accidents. See, events ultimately decide politics. They don't. I can't plan. I can plan for 10%, or I can plan for being positioned. But the ultimate what happens is the event. An event happens, everything changes. Some events may be unpleasant. For instance, Gujarat is the one that projected Modi and made him into a national Hindutva hero.
But what was the event that made him into a PM candidate? Was it a slow working?
His governance. There's no doubt he has.
But who are the people who said let's make Modi PM? Who's the one who actually?
No, there was because you see we hear everywhere we going people saying Gujarat the roads are much better. Look at what he has done in Kutch, which was a sand area. Today it's all green.
But people say nice things about Shivraj Singh also in Madhya Pradesh.
They do. I'm not saying that, but it's a question of he has a much bigger state, and he doesn't have a Gujarati middle class. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Manish Tiwari once, in fact, when going over the reasons for the Congress loss, he's saying it's somewhere down the line, especially after 2G, he's saying it didn't become Congress versus BJP, it became Congress versus corporate India.
No, corporate India plays a role in terms of providing the finances and so on. But if you don't have a car, what's the use of having petrol? You need the basic vehicle. And the vehicle was Modi's governance achievements. And it's not, you see, it's not a propaganda, because the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation came out with their report. Montag Singh himself said in the Planning Commission, the best administered state is Gujarat. And there were these remarks all over. So it was an acknowledged position that Modi had performed. You see. So, no question about it. He had certain pluses on going for him, like I just told you, the Gujarati middle class. Given an opportunity to the Gujarati middle class, they have a long tradition of business and so on.
Very influential Gujaratis in business also.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So that is what. So I would say that what undermined the Congress was the corruption scene, because if they had been more honest. They couldn't be, because the person at the highest position in that party, Sonia Gandhi, she was nervous about it. So she wanted somehow everything to be deflected from her. And others didn't want to take the rap for it. So they tried to say that it didn't exist. Or they used the government machinery, like Chidambaram. He used the government machinery to shut people up, the tax and so on. In fact, your media was used to get frequently SMS. I don't know whether NewsX got it, but I know some media used to get regular SMS that next, if this program is repeated in the next broadcast, well, you will find out the hard way why it is wrong to do so. You know, that kind of SMS. So, I mean, these people actually turned the thinking classes, so to speak, or what some people call as a chattering class, into their enemies. Plus the mass of people, there was no defense of the Congress at the lower end on corruption issue. So the corruption stuck, and some of it was a graphic. For example, this 1,76,000 crores number, which is of course an accurate number. In fact, there's a bit of an underestimate. But it had a huge impact on the psychology of the masses. Things easy to understand, you know, so much loss. The same way as black money. Oh, 120 lakh crores abroad. Everybody will get 15 lakhs in their bank accounts. You know, these things are graphic presentations which had impact.
Modi has made a lot of promises that he's now having a problem to deliver, such as, you know, giving lakhs to people's bank accounts, getting black money is one. There are other promises also. Now, when will he start delivering?
It's too early to say that this is not a reversible thing, see.
So you're saying 2016, but shouldn't he start delivering before that?
Not necessary, because people are critical, but they are not against him. They don't feel he is betrayed. He says he is not done. I have not seen any place, and if we win in Jharkhand and we perform an unprecedented way in Kashmir, how can you say the people are disappointed? You see, so therefore I don't think the stage has reached where people are disappointed, and they hold partly the cabinet responsible. They're saying none of these people are able to deliver. Some of the statements from some of the ministers has created an impression that they don't want to do it. And then, you know, in India, we have a layer of classes, one which is informed about everything. You know, there's no secrets with them. And then this media, social media. So there are a lot of multiplier effects of information. But I must say, Modi's image has not taken a beating.
Do you think was it a wise move to you know, focus so much on foreign affairs, to have that whole SAARC meeting and then 2 months later do a U-turn on Pakistan?
I don't think that he did a U-turn. It was Pakistan which did the U-turn. I mean, they came here, shook hands and went back. Of course, Pakistan has Nawaz Sharif has a good reason. He doesn't count for anything in Pakistan. He is just a nobody there. He may be elected prime minister, but no, it is the mullahs, it is the army, it is the ISI, it is the Taliban. These are the people who run Pakistan today. Civil society is shrinking. Go and talk to Pakistani civilians. They are in fact seriously asking people who they think would not publicize what they are saying, or they, like myself, they'll say, why doesn't India take more interest in stabilizing Pakistan? You know, something I would have never heard earlier from the civil society. You see, they are really under attack by the Taliban today.
Since we are looking at the year gone by, so in the
I know, but he's traveling within the country too. Which prime minister has campaigned the way he has? I don't think he does his spare time at all.
Well, that I'll give you, that he's working throughout. But should there more time be spent here than there?
No, international policy is based on personal familiarity. I think the only place where I feel he could have done better is China. Because China is having doubts about Pakistan now. And this is a time we can't, I'm not asking him to trust China, but I'm saying that, you know, minimize any slight or something. For instance, when the president was here, many people cheered him for it, but he said very frankly that this is not permissible.
The line of
crossing, but that you don't say in a press conference. That part, I think he needs to cement. I mean, China is today concerned with the developments in Pakistan. They're worried about terrorists coming from Pakistan to Xinjiang, and they would like to cooperate with India on Afghanistan. And I think, therefore, is today concerned with the developments in Pakistan. They're worried about terrorists coming from Pakistan into Xinjiang, and they would like to cooperate with India on Afghanistan. And I think, therefore, we have to try and, without losing our sense of perspective, I mean, you don't have to idealize China like Jawaharlal Nehru did, but we need to prepare our defenses to the point where we think we can reply to China. But I think we should have a working relationship with them. Now you take, for instance, Suresh Prabhu said that we have been chained by our relationship with China on environment. We have lost a lot by being identified with China on environment. What happened? Just 1 week later, in Australia, G20, Americans on the side signed an environment agreement with China and left us out completely. You know, these things are somewhere you have to take very great care.
Domino effect.
I think on China we need special attention.
Coming back, there's also been one domestic event or another case that made a lot of headlines. That's Nanda Pushkar case, which you again have been.
Yeah, I'm very much at it.
Where does it stand now, and does next year hold for Shashi Tharoor?
I've been told by the Home Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, that he's waiting for a report from the police, and that he's going to give it serious thought about setting up an SIT. That report, he said, would come by 15th of December. So I'm waiting till 15th of December. In January, if an SIT is not set up, be assured that I will be in court.
Taking this up?
Yes, because I have enough evidence now.
Evidence nailing Tharoor or evidence?
Evidence nailing Tharoor as having misled the police, as trying to tamper with the investigation. But I will say, as I said in my earlier program on NewsX, I don't think he is the man who either directed the murder or committed the murder. But it was a murder. It was done by a professional team from Dubai and Pakistan.
But why?
It's a long story. I mean, then you'll ask me what is your proof and what's the evidence.
No, you tell me the story.
I think it is connected with what she said she will blabber out.
She said she'll hold a press conference the next day.
She'll hold a press conference and say this. She told one of your leading anchors this. That anchor went and told Sonia Gandhi also about this. She told a lot other people also about it. And I think there were some people who thought that her speaking all this would harm them very substantially. And so she was killed. One of the ways in which Tharoor has put himself in a difficulty is he claimed to the police that he came to know of her death only when he returned back from Talkotra Gardens at 7:30 in the night. But there are police has telephone records to show that his secretary had phoned him up at 4:30 to say that she's dead.
Wow. And he sat through that whole
there you are.
Congress session without...
Yeah, there you are.
Well, shows how loyal congressman can be.
Well, is he a loyal person? He wanted to join the BJP. Didn't happen, that's all.
Is he going to join the BJP? Or
How can he join the BJP? There will be a furor.
So all that Swachh Bharat, cleaning and all gone to waste.
No, I don't think Modi called him because of that.
Why did Modi choose him when you know
he chose Akhilesh Yadav. I mean, I don't understand when a Prime Minister has a national program.
But there are other... Akhilesh Yadav you can say is Chief Minister of UP. Shashi Tharoor kya hai?
Shashi Tharoor is from Kerala.
And?
He's a congressman.
And?
You didn't get any other congressman.
But why he needed a congressman from Kerala?
That is a question of subjective question. You see, here's the Prime Minister, he's exercised his mind. He said, I want somebody from Congress. So Tharoor was already cooing about Modi. So he said, okay, bring him on.
Okay, this has been a busy year. You had Jayalalitha, you had the National Herald case, which you're pursuing, the Tharoor case, black money.
Yes.
Who's on your target for next year?
Chidambaram. He really is crook number one, if you don't mind my saying so.
He may mind you saying so. But
yeah, because you see, he's involved in this. Every foreign investment promotion board decision, he's a culprit. All right. Every SEBI mishandling, he's a culprit. And the whole family is. His wife is in that Bengal chit fund business. His son is in the ambulance business.
But she's been given a clean chit on that.
Who is what clean chit?
The wife with that.
No, I don't know they've been given a clean chit. I have not seen that. But I'm saying that I am not interested in his family because they're all small potatoes. But this man was a finance minister. And therefore, certainly I would.
Now I'm going to ask you my favorite question. Do you have proof for this?
Well, the fact is that I gave the proof to the Prime Minister. He wrote a letter to the CBI. They have registered a PE, preliminary inquiry. Then I gave a proof to the Supreme Court on Aircel Maxis. And the CBI has filed a charge sheet on Dayanidhi Manan where they say that Mr. Chidambaram is also going to be investigated, for which they have now an authorization from court. So the proof is there if you want. I mean, I have only basically to produce what is called as prima facie case. When I decide to prosecute a matter myself, like in National Herald, there I'll give you complete proof whenever you want. It's an open shut case.
We're going to close this interview for now, but thank you for talking to us. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Cover Story, and we'll see you again same time next week.